The history of humanity is full of remarkable figures who not only changed their world, but also influenced generations of people after them. One such individual was the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the last of the so-called 5 good emperors. However, his greatness was not only in his political or military career, but in his unique approach to life and philosophy. Marcus Aurelius's philosophy, based on the principles of Stoicism, continues to inspire millions around the world, despite the centuries that have passed. Stoicism teaches us to remain calm in the face of difficulties, to accept the inevitable, and to strive for inner peace. Today, we will explore how Stoic philosophy can change your life, teaching you to handle challenges, overcome fears, and find harmony in the chaos of everyday life. These are not just theoretical musings, but practical principles that can be applied to any aspect of your life. What is Stoicism? Stoicism is a philosophy that originated in ancient Greece around 300 BC, but its foundational ideas remain relevant today. The founders of the Stoic school, such as Zeno of Citium, laid down principles that were later adopted and developed by figures like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. The core teaching of Stoicism is that we cannot control the external world, but we can control our reaction to it. Life is full of suffering and unexpected twists, but that doesn't mean we have to become its victims. The Stoics taught that every person can achieve happiness and peace if they learn to accept what is beyond their control and focus on what they can truly change: their thoughts, emotions, and actions. 2. Core principles of Stoicism: the dichotomy of control. One of the main principles of Stoic philosophy is understanding that some things are within our control and others are not. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us and others are not." We cannot control the weather, the economy, or the behavior of others, but we can control our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Real-life example: imagine you are stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. What can you do? You can't change the situation, but you can change your attitude toward it. Instead of becoming anxious or angry, accept the situation and try to use the time productively. Listen to an audiobook, meditate, or simply enjoy the moment of stillness. Inner peace and equanimity. The Stoics aimed for inner peace, which can be achieved by not letting external circumstances disturb your emotional balance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Worrying does not improve the situation." This does not mean that Stoics were unemotional. They simply believed that emotions should not govern our actions. Virtue as the goal of life. For the Stoics, the goal of life was virtue, not material goods or pleasures. Virtue consists of 4 key qualities: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. The Stoics believed that by following these qualities, a person can achieve true happiness. Amor fati, love of fate. The Stoics taught accepting one's fate and loving it as it is. This is not passive resignation, but an active acceptance of what happens in your life. If something doesn't go as planned, it's not a reason for despair, but an opportunity for growth. Memento mori, remember death. The Stoics often reminded themselves of their mortality. This wasn't meant to instill fear, but to inspire a more conscious life. Life is short, and we should cherish every moment. 3. How Stoicism helps in daily life. Managing stress and anxiety. In today's world, stress has become a constant companion in life. Work deadlines, financial challenges, and personal relationships can all trigger anxiety and worry. The Stoics suggest that we focus on what we can control. Instead of worrying about what might happen tomorrow, they teach us to live in the present day and accept life as it is. Modern example: someone working in a highly competitive environment is constantly faced with challenges and stresses. By using Stoic principles, they learn to manage their emotions, avoid panic, and accept situations that are beyond their control. Stoicism in personal relationships. Relationships with others are a complex and often emotional part of life. The Stoics teach us to remain calm and act based on reason, not emotion. They advise not to expect more from people than they can give, and not to be disappointed by their flaws. Example: in a conflict with a close person, instead of reacting emotionally, you can pause, acknowledge your feelings, and respond more rationally and thoughtfully. Overcoming challenges and failures. Life is full of trials, and sometimes we encounter failures. The Stoics taught that we should see difficulties as opportunities for growth. Every challenge is a lesson that makes us stronger and wiser. Example: an entrepreneur whose projects have repeatedly failed uses the Stoic approach, seeing these failures as opportunities to learn and improve their strategies rather than giving up. 4. The life of Marcus Aurelius as an example of Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor during one of the most challenging periods in Roman history. He faced wars, betrayals, and personal tragedies. However, his reign is remembered not only for his military victories, but also for his philosophical approach to life. Equanimity in the face of adversity. During his reign, the empire was constantly struggling with external enemies and internal conspiracies. Despite these challenges, Marcus Aurelius maintained clarity of mind and calmness of spirit. He understood that much of what happened around him was beyond his control. Self-control and justice. Even as emperor, he did not allow himself to abuse power. He strived for justice and did not succumb to the temptations of authority. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You can choose how to respond to what happens. You can choose wisdom, patience, and justice." Example of personal discipline. Marcus Aurelius was known for his self-discipline. He would rise early, meditate, and study philosophy despite being burdened with the affairs of state. V. How to apply Stoicism in the 21st century. Acceptance of the inevitable. In today's world, many people struggle with anxiety and stress because they want to control everything around them. The Stoics teach us to accept what we cannot change, whether it's a work crisis, illness, or relationship problems. Focus on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and emotions. Mindfulness and meditation. Modern psychologists and life coaches often recommend mindfulness and meditation practices to manage stress and anxiety. However, these ideas are not new. The Stoics also actively practice such techniques to maintain calm and clarity of mind. The power of the moment. One of the central ideas of Stoicism is focusing on the present moment. The age of information and rapid change often distracts us from what truly matters. The Stoics remind us that life is happening here and now. The future is an illusion, and the past is already gone. Stoicism is not just a philosophy for ancient thinkers, but a practical tool for modern people. In a world full of worries, Stoic principles can become an anchor that helps maintain balance and calm in any situation. Like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, we can learn to accept the inevitable, control our reactions, and live according to virtue. Each of us face challenges, but it is our attitude toward these challenges that determines how we live our lives.